All right, so I gotta do this video over again because I had to take care of my dog and whatever she has to deal with. All right. Okay, sugar, hold on. Hold on, sugar. You okay? Hi. Hi, sugar. You okay? Hi, sugar. Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. Here, sugar. Come here. Come here. Come here, sugar. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Come here. Come on. Come here. Okay. All right. Sorry, I just got a lot of stuff to take care of. Jeez. Okay, so I'm gonna do this video over again because I'm telling you, the storm isn't coming. The storm is here, guys. The storm is here. And they are projecting that 1/3 of the U.S. is going to be affected by the COVID. Well, why are they projecting 1/3? Why not everybody? Because everyone's affected by this virus. Oh, infection means conception, replication, reproduction. Infection means also not everybody survives childbirth. Not everybody survives their exposure to an aggressive virus that will cause so much replication, so much life inside them, more than they can handle. See, life is great. Everybody loves life, right? But when there's too much life, that's called cancer on a body at a deficit. And so when you think about these viruses, they are the vectors. They fertilize, they replicate, they conceive, it causes conception. Where do these viruses come from? Because the person is attacking their own body with antibiotics, okay? And so that's what all this rise and fall of civilizations and simulations come from, is the nation building, bringing in mild antibiotics. When you bring in mild antibiotics, you have a mild uprising in the population. When people have so many aggressive diseases, let's say that we have so much dying and reproducing after so many generations, let's say since 1918, and now we have bodies that are such a deficit that are in the throes of trying to evolve, so there's aggressive diseases because that's the body trying to evolve, and it's telling the person they're at a deficit, and then you're using more aggressive antibiotics. Guess what's going to be more aggressive? The viruses, the children. What do you mean the viruses, children? Because every virus that comes from a positive and negative, every virus that comes from a positive and negative will produce another variant, another offspring. That offspring is going to go in a microbial form and inseminate everybody and everything out there. Some people will get an infection. Some people will get a reproduction, like they're going to want to be fertile and go and conceive. Other people will get some kind of diagnosable condition, and other people will not survive. They will not survive childbirth because you still have to purge. That's the thing about, you got to realize this. You got to realize this, is that when you're learning how to use your own fingers to purge out through your sphincter, and your body is going through those waves and waves of pushing out the poop and pushing out that stuff, it's like a birthing process. It's like pushing out a baby. When you're going poop, it's like pushing out a baby. Okay? I'm just going to put it right. That's why those areas are very close together, because they're all using the same kind of muscles. Your diaphragm pushes out, yes, out down there, but your diaphragm also pushes out up here. So when I wake up in the morning and I've been around outside, okay, I haven't been around anybody, but I might be incubating stuff, who knows. I wake up and I have all this mucus. I have to go and blow my nose, and poop at the same time. So I'm pooping and blowing my nose, pooping and blowing my nose. Okay, fine, everything comes out. And that's like labor pains. And so when you think about every single cancer, disease, and chronic illness and autoimmune disorder is some version of being in some kind of labor pains, in some kind of evolutionary stage that the person is resisting and trying to attack, which then produces more babies. See, it's like humans and life is like a flower trying to bust through a cracked cement. It'll find the weakest point. It'll find the nooks and the crannies within the cement. And it's opportunistic. Life is opportunistic. Just like, you know, the testosterone in some men are very opportunistic, not all. And they'll go and drop their seeds everywhere, just like these viruses. They're very opportunistic. And when they get coughed out, being birthed out by the person who's under heavy antibiotics, that's a new little viral baby that's going to be opportunistic. And that virus is going to go and try to find a host and inseminate that host with its glycoproteins, with its spike glycoproteins, the spike proteins, with what do you call it? The tail fibers, those little thingies that go in and then and upload information like a vector. Vectors upload information. Viruses upload information. People with fallacies upload information. And that's why the Washington Monument is what it is. At the end of the monument is like a capsid that you see on a virus capsid. Okay? When you look at the pine cones or the different the pineal gland, pine cone, that's the spirit. Okay, fine. But it's also part of the viral stuff that's going on right now. The Vatican understands this. That's why with Van Helsing's about the vampiruses. Van Helsing is all about, yes, it's very dark, and all the vampires and the zombies are in that show. And it's very gory, yes, and it's very dark and dystopian. But one of the antagonists, or one of the lead, or one of the main characters, who was at first working with the good guys, but he was actually killing them, and they didn't know it. See, there is so much truth and fact in this Van Helsing. So you have a group of people, like 5 people, in that show. Let's just say 5. One of them is actually killing their own. So they're fighting against these vampires that are all, and then the good guys are hanging out together trying to fight the vampires, and so they're hanging out in their protective behind, you know, in this abandoned building, but they don't realize one of them is actually steadily killing each one of them, and they don't know who it is. That's like what's going on in all of your families. There is a virus that is causing, there's all these viruses, whatever, is causing everyone to die at some point. And so then when they find out that it was that guy, Sam, who they thought was a good guy, but turned out he actually was the bad guy, and he was killing everybody in their little group, then Sam became stronger. Sam became the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And then he was, in some of his monologues, he was saying, well, you know, I go after the weak. I go after the complacent. I go after those that are undisciplined, who are not, who are just completely oblivious to responsibility. And so there's a message even in Van Helsing that what these viruses go after as far as destroying somebody is someone who is weak, yes, someone who is undisciplined, who is complacent, someone who can't take in new information, someone who hears all the warnings but think it's people are trying to control them. They don't bother to understand about viruses. Yes, I understand that the system isn't telling you, but even if the system told you every side of it, would you believe it? You don't even believe me about the salt. Some of you. You don't believe me that you're supposed to purge out some excess. You're supposed to realign your viral operating system, your viral memory banks. Oh, but that's right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a licensed whatever. I don't have a degree in whatever said field that you think is credible. And so people get complacent, they get smug in their information, what they think is the truth and the right way. They get smug in their politics, in their religion, in their scientific dogmas, and will go and tear someone apart that is different, looks different, acts different, is different. Try to sacrifice them through the media. You're seeing it right now all over the place. The cancel culture is all about human sacrifice, but virtually. And so that's who these deadly viruses go after, is the weak and the complacent and the completely irresponsible and the ones that are undisciplined. And so, yeah, and so then the hero of the show, the anti-hero, the hero, whatever, she's just like, I'm going to fight the darkness. I'm going to fight the darkness, because she has darkness within her too. She's got to fight herself. And that's what people right now are doing. They're fighting themselves, and it sucks to watch, because we have been told that dying and reproducing is supposed to be. And we have been told that viruses are the enemy. But remember, viruses are, you wouldn't know a virus is a virus until you have some kind of reaction to some exposure to a person, place, or thing. You wouldn't know they existed. The reason why you know viruses exist is because people have cancer, they have disease, chronic illness, autoimmune disorders, or they have a reaction to someone who has supposedly the virus, and they feel the mucus. So viruses only exist because there's new entities in the environment that have fertilized and inseminated some person, place, or thing, and those little babies are in the wind, and they're fertilizing everything, just like pollen. Just like the bees that spread the pollen and go and fertilize all these flowers to create the fruit. No different than the men out there who are opportunistic, that aren't monogamous. There's polygamous men that go out there and inseminate everything that walks. And they're fine with it. Okay, whatever. But then that's how babies and viruses get spread out, because that's the direct upload of information. And then the indirect but direct is when people are using antibiotics against their body. When you have a positive and you have a negative come together, it creates then an offshoot that is the baby of those two DNA entities, man, woman, sperm, egg, whatever. And that is the offspring. That is now the new representation of a new viral variant. And I could tell whenever I got caught by a new virus, there were certain, things that were going on in my body during that time. And my periods keep getting interrupted every single time I get exposed to a new variant. And people are like, oh, you're menopause. No, it's not menopause, honey. Menopause is when the body is breaking down and it's going through the hormonal breakdowns. And so, yeah, people are feeling all these different things. So the body's trying to survive, but the person is already breaking down. And eventually that part of their system is going to get shut down. No different when you take out your uterus. You're still a viable human, but you just can't you can't have babies. And you'll also be down going on a decline, because you cannot survive indefinitely if you have been given, if you take away parts of you through surgical means. And we still have people out there who have the womb and all of that. You're supposed to assimilate to like things. Okay? Yes, science can go in and modify things in between life and death, and you can call it whatever you want. But ultimately, when you're adapting indefinitely to an environment, whatever prototype you came from, if that is still prevalent in your community, then you're going to assimilate to those prototypes, even though phenotypically you might have different characteristics, but the genotype or the predominant programming, the read-only memory versus the random access memory, is still in place unless everybody around you has turned into something. But then, that's the thing is if everyone around you is turning into like a red hair and white skin, why wouldn't you turn into a red? Well, you probably would at some point. Why would you then be assimilating to that type of prototype? And why wouldn't they be assimilating to you if you have black hair and darker skin? It just depends on the geographical location, the most prevalent prototype at the time. And since we're in a diverse community, we all then keep to whatever prototype we have. And the new programming that's coming in might be modifying things. You might see if I'm around long enough, but that's the thing is I'm getting hit by so many different viral variants that who's to say what's going to be the most predominant? So might as well just keep what I have, right? But again, like I said, if there is a predominant prototype of red hair and white skin, and I'm in a geographical location like that, then I'm going to assimilate to that. And so you guys got to realize that these pandemics is like a major rebirth, but also a rebirth that takes life away. Because again, not when people are high risk pregnancies, and we know that some mothers do not survive childbirth. That's what it's like when you have 7.9 billion people, and they project in America of 300 million, 1/3 is going to be infected. And that infection could be the death of someone. It could be another diagnosable condition of someone. It could be just a cold to somebody. And you know for a fact who in your world is underweight. You know for a fact people in your world are dealing with a diagnosable condition under so many different therapies or have so many predispositions. And when you're out there, again, taking on other people's microbes, and you're being fertilized by all the different viruses that are right now out there, because I feel it, I know it, people have been feeling it. You see people dying around you. That's the indicator. If you don't believe this virus exists, then look around you if you're not under a rock. Okay? Look on your Facebook feed. How many people are dying? How many people are contracting cancer disease, chronic illness, or coughing every single day? Okay? So when you're out there and you're not finding a way to preempt getting this stuff out, you're not finding a way to feed your body, and you can't even preempt everything out of your body because you do so much preempting, so then you have to feel the viruses that come through, and they're going to be aggressive. You got to cough it out. And then in the meantime, while you're coughing out those viruses and coughing out those little babies, those microbial babies that people are dropping all over the place, then you got to feel your predispositions. And who knows what they are. That's the hell. That is the hell. That is Dante's freaking inferno. That is Dante's inferno. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I showed you guys in a much calmer environment that I preempted all of my stuff. But we didn't have something aggressive as COVID. I only had the cold and the flu that was going around, which was pretty aggressive way back in 1918. I saw a documentary about the 1918 flu, and they said that the severity of that flu back in 1918 was so underplayed that people were horrified by the outcome. There are orphan children from the 1918 flu. Okay? And so we'll be seeing that on some level. It's going to happen. It's going to happen again. And it might happen this fall. Between now and 2030, we're going to see a lot of changes in the population. And you see many people are just not believing it because they're in their own freaking fog. And so that's the thing is that's the hell. That's Dante's Inferno. But you have to understand the link between infection, pregnancy, conception, replication, the vectors like a male uploading information, the Washington Monument, all the reliefs and the sculptures and everything in the Vatican and different places, the phallic symbol, the virus in of itself, what it looks like a little fucking alien that's downloading and uploading information. And they do contribute to reproduction, pandemics, all of that. And so this is a very aggressive environment, guys. Very aggressive. I really hope my dog survives this. It's a fight. It is seriously a fight. And so sometimes your animals in this environment, when it's so aggressive, it's a fight. To keep them fed, to keep them relatively balanced, to have the patience when they just are not the same. Little glimmers of their personality do come out. But I'm telling you, I'm tripping on all this. This is just crazy. So I say good luck. I say good luck to all of you. May the best man win. That's all I could say. All right, bye.